back to my channel. Today I made a video of all about my bunions, and I made like a slideshow of it. I wasn't talking during any of it, I just showed pictures of it and put captions. So I figured I might as well just talk about it, talk about my experience, talk about everything that happened beforehand, my pain, my experience, everything, I guess. So let's see, I am 20 years old. I am going to be 21 on Sunday, the 17th of December. And I had bunions. I say had because I had surgery, obviously, in that video. And before the surgery, my feet were pretty jacked up. Like, the doctor said it wasn't because of anything I did or my parents did. It was just a deformity that I had. And I still think I have it. Like, in my ankles and everything, my flat feet, my ankles fall. Like, your ankles supposed to go like this. Like, they're supposed to hold up your body. Well, my ankle is slant inwards. And I feel like that could have been a reason that the bunions got worse over time. And they could still form. But the doctor said it wasn't because of my ankles. But I still feel like my ankles are giving me pain. Because a lot of people online, I read, I know you're not supposed to re-Google things, but I did anyways. They say that you won't have pain from your ankles falling inwards, but I do. So I don't know if I'm going to try to get that figured out or just wear ankle braces, because that's what I'm going to try to do for now. And then, let's see. My pain before. This video is going to be all over the place, but oh well. Trying to think. I think we first noticed me having weird feet, like bunions and stuff, was around 7, maybe. That's when, like, in pictures that my mom took of us, like, you could tell my foot looked weird, and then progressively just gotten worse. My mom said when I was younger, my feet grew at a serious, like, they grew at an extensive amount of time. In an extensive amount of time, I had gigantic feet at a young age, I guess. And she thought maybe that was the reason why I had bunions, because my feet grew funny. I don't know. But last year, okay, so before I start talking about that, I had so much trouble trying to fit into shoes because my foot box was a lot wider than most people's, and I couldn't wear normal shoes. And I would get pain from that. I also, on top of having bunions, I also had hammer toes, which is basically just your toes going like this instead of like this. So then I had even more problems with my feet. It wasn't just the bunions, which a bunion, if anybody doesn't know, it's a bony overgrowth or a bony deformity on the outside of your big toe. And then when you wear shoes, my toes were slanted over. So like, this is my big toe. My big toe is like this. And then it was pushing all my other toes over, which made them like curl under even more from the hammer toes. So I had twice as much problems as anybody else. And at a young age, you don't normally get bunions until you're like 40 or 50 or 60 years old. And here I am at 20 getting surgery. Well, it would be 19. I got my first surgery at 19. Here I am at 19 getting surgeries done on my feet for people that don't usually get them until like in their late 50s or something. So it can happen to anybody. In my case, it was just a deformity. It wasn't really that we did anything wrong. So in other cases, it might be like you're doing something wrong with your feet, like wearing heels, and then that's how you could get them, from the weight pushing down on your feet, or your toes. But mine was because of a deformity. And so last year, I started getting answers for them in August of 2016. And then in September, that's when my surgery was scheduled. I was 19. I had my first surgery like September 15th, it was on my right foot, and I had bunion correction, and then they also corrected all of my 4 toes on my right foot. So I'll probably like insert pictures here of that. After all of that happened, it was a rough process. The first week was terrible, to be honest. I was in excruciating pain. I was on like painkillers for probably a month, and I don't know, the first week was like the roughest I've ever had. This was the first time I've ever been on crutches in like a cast type of thing, and being in a boot. This was like the first time for like everything, and it was definitely rough. The first time it was rough. I mean, it wasn't easy. I definitely don't regret it, but I'm seeing an aftermath of it. Like, I'm seeing it didn't correct everything, which I mean is understandable because sometimes it won't. So eventually I'm gonna have to have another surgery on both of my feet, but it definitely looks a lot better than it did, so I can't really complain. But I am starting to have pain on my second toe. My second toe is starting to curve to the right, and I keep getting corns on the inside of that toe and on my big toe. So that's what I'm gonna have to eventually have surgery on to correct those toes. But for as that, it's actually pretty good. I mean, aside from, I think my doctor said if I still have problems with my ankles, then I could get surgery on that, which would put a pin in my ankle, and if I wanted to, it could be corrected, or it could be, if it wasn't working or if it was giving me problems, you could reverse the surgery. That's what I was trying to say. You could reverse it, so it's not permanent like my actual feet are. So, and in my right foot, I have 3 screws, and then like you'll see in the pictures, like I had 4 pins sticking out of my toes. All the pins were about like this long. It didn't hurt, you couldn't feel them. Talking about like the getting them out part, I was freaking out so bad because I thought that would hurt. They didn't hurt. You just felt like the pressure of it, to be honest. That's all you really felt, was the pressure of him touching your toes, or her, because I had a doctor that took my pins out. And that's basically the first foot. And it's already been a year since I've had the right foot surgery. And in March of 2017, like March 15th, I think, I had my second surgery. And this one went a lot smoother because I knew what I was doing. I knew what to expect. It wasn't like, oh my god, it's my first time again, but it was just basically the same. And it wasn't, the surgery date or the surgery time wasn't as long as the first one. And the second time I didn't get a cast. I mean, I did, but it wasn't all the way up my leg like the first one was. And then, so like here I'll insert like the before picture, the after picture, the pictures again. And it definitely went a lot better. I knew what was happening. The pain in the beginning was still pretty bad because that first week is just the worst of everything. Like, you're on painkillers, you're getting off of the anesthesia. It's just not fun. But I definitely, okay, for my right foot, it took me a full year, I think, to recover, like, fully. But I think after, it took me 5 to 6 months, I want to say, 7 months even, before I could even walk in a shoe on my right foot. I think most of that was just because I was terrified, and, well, let's just say, I'm all over the place, but let's just say, my right foot was the worst part. It was the worst foot of both of them, and that's why they did the right one first, because it was the worst. So I think that's also why it could have taken longer, or why it took me longer to heal it. But I want to say my right foot, I had it in March, and by, I want to say 2 months, 2.5 months, I was already walking in a shoe on my left foot, which is phenomenal. My left foot wasn't as bad, but I mean, it was like I needed surgery. Like it's something that I needed. I couldn't walk, like it was hurting so bad. Like a few days after that, I ended up getting the pins out. The pins were still the same amount, same size, and that actually went a lot better than I thought it would. That time didn't hurt. The first time did, but the second time with the pins didn't hurt. And then by June, I was going to work again. I mean, when I first went back to work, I could only work 2-3 hours at a time, maybe 4. But now I can work a lot longer. I'm still only working like 5-6 hours, but I can do a lot better than I did in the beginning. And I'll show a picture of my feet now, so you can see like the aftermath of it. The 1 year is coming up for my left foot. That'll be March 15th. So I'll probably post a video then of both of my feet then, and show how the process went, or like the progress went. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a sit down video and tell you guys the actual details of it. And it's not really that great of a video because I'm all over the place. I should have wrote everything down, but if you guys thought this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. And comment down below if you have bunions or have had bunion surgery. And subscribe. I'll see you next video. Bye.